Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Nonsense live stream. It's been a little while. I think I'm going here. How we doing? Have you had enough? Are you doing okay? Did you get some exercise in? Did you eat well? A lot going on, right? Allegedly, the numbers are ramping up for the corona, and a lot of people are starting to buckle down again and get crazy. So I want to share a few things and just talk about it a little bit now that we're, the weird emotional connection we had to the election. I didn't, but a lot of people did. They thought their life depended on it, and your life depends on you and the decisions you make on a daily basis. So I posted something on my personal page on Facebook, just about no lockdowns this time, don't enforce it. Okay. I've talked about this. You are your own assassin. Nobody enforces these things but you. However, the great big thing that's going on in this world is whatever powers that be, not political, none of this stuff, the great beyond that is trying to get us into a position where we comply to ridiculous nonsense. So now we're back at it. Here we are, middle of November, right? And skyrocketing, allegedly, cases, right? And this whole 8 months that we've been under, whatever it is we've been under, I've known people who said they tested positive for corona and they got it. And there's a fellow I know right now who's sick. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying I never once said it was a hoax. Just to be clear, I believe it's a real thing. People get sick. It's the where we're going with it as a society is what I'm more concerned about and have always been concerned about since day one. And that's the pushing us into a corner and getting us to fight amongst ourselves about literally everything. Um, the illusion of security. I fell down the other day on my stairs, and this isn't the first time I've slipped on my stairs. And there's a wood banister, and I just bashed my arm on that banister, right? Hurt it. It's, a little sore. Got some bruising and everything. I'll live. But do I get scared to walk down those stairs with the fear that I may slip? It's the unknown. You just have to live your life, right? And I posted something today and I had a friend comment and say, I respect everything you say. I agree that the we're not being told the truth. Okay, right there. I'm going to tell you some more solutions to the problem. If you know you've been lied to by a source, a news source, a friend, wherever, if you know that you've been lied to and you still believe that information, you are at fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. If you know that this constant news source where you're getting your sources from has been lying to you and the information it either contradicts itself or there's new information, nobody knows what's true, what's up is down. Great. You have an ability to discern information for yourself. So if you take in all the information from all sides, then have the ability to decide what's best for you, that is how it should be in a perfect world. But it's not. The information is being told it's this way, this is it, this is how it's going, this is what you should be doing, blah, 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 blah. People are dying. People aren't dying, guys. There will, you know what? Sorry. Let me rephrase that. People are dying, but they're not dying in the droves to where you need to completely readjust your life for the sake of people you never met and or think you may get sick. I had somebody say, but if I go out and you think you're sick, how do you know? There are two words in this language that we live in that are detrimental to everybody's mind, and that is what if. That's a psychological mind control device by saying what if, because what if applies to everything, guys. What if I fall down the stairs again? Oh my God, am I never going to be able to walk down the stairs? What if I go outside and I get somebody sick? Dude, see, it's not your health is your responsibility and your responsibility alone. You have no idea how anything works, nor does anybody, the information that's being presented to us, does anybody really know? But we're told a bunch of different things like this will work, that'll work. And I'm going to tell you from day one, the term lockdown is a very horrible term to use. Why? Because that's a prison term. You're on lockdown. Not a good thing, guys. Do you want to be on lockdown, house arrest on your own home? It's very detrimental to the mind. So, a friend of mine says, I agree with everything you say, but what if okay, they admit that the information is that they're getting probably isn't true. They admit that they're probably being lied to and they're not getting the full truth. So you know that. So now it's still on you. But what if? The arguments of erring on the side of caution. Like, well, I'm still going to do it because I don't want to get some. You have no idea. And let me tell you something. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. So this isn't new. It's not a new thing. It's not. It's being portrayed as new. So you can never really get to the bottom of it. And let me say that. We'll never get to the bottom of this, guys. But I'll tell you where it's going and why I'm concerned and why I'm defiant with the compliance thing. It's because I do not want to live in a world, nor do I want my children to live in a world where I am told that I need to have something in order to get something. And by that something meaning a vaccine, have to have the papers that shows I'm not sick. That is a very dangerous dark world that you don't want any part of. I don't want any part of it. And I'm pretty much a guy who's always been like, let everybody do what they want. Just live your life. Whatever. But now when you're telling me, because that's where we're going. It's going to the point where they're going to try to get you to take a vaccine. Because honestly, guys, the powers that be don't want you. They don't want you alive. They want you dead. I mean, that sounds crazy to say, I know, but I've seen more people commit suicide in the last 8 months than I've ever seen, and it wasn't from this sickness. They did it to themselves. You want to know how I know? Because I've been down that road. I almost did it to myself. Why? Because this thing in between my ears was turning. Whispers, like, do this, do that. Oh, what if that? What if I don't have enough stuff? What if I don't have enough money? What if I don't have enough cars? Oh my God. The psychological toll that takes on your mind, it causes you to get sick. Your body will become sick. If your mind, body, and spirit, folks, are not in balance, you will get sick. If you're sick in the mind, your body will be sick, vice versa. If you're sick in the body, it's hard for the mind to follow. You have to learn to balance these things. You need those three things. You need the spirit, the mind, and the body to be one. They have to be even. And some people don't want that. Some people want to put on the mask. Some people want to wear the gloves. Some people want it to be a sterile world because deep in their soul, if they have one, that's what they wanted all along. And that's the truth that nobody wants to accept. Like, what do you mean by truth? That's what I mean. They want the world shut down so they can go back to their lives in the dark, jerking off all day. This isn't about people getting sick and saving lives, guys, because I said it a long time ago, we're not going back to the way we were. And if you think locking down stuff, again, by any means, is going to help. No, see, what it's designed to do is to get your mind weak, to wear you down mentally to the point where you just say, you throw in the towel, and you're like, you know what, fuck this, give me the shot. What do I have to do so I can go on about my happy, merry life? That comes at a price, guys. It's not a price you want to pay, nor do I think you're willing to pay. You don't want the world of I have to show this, again, it's not happening now, but this is where we're headed. It's to keep you getting down, and then they'll come up with a vaccine that you can go ahead and line up and take and be the first ones to do it. I wouldn't take anything that is presented, because the real thing you have to get to the bottom of your fears, folks. This is a spiritual warfare battle. I can't stress this enough. And I've been on all sides of science and not science. I was borderline atheist at one point in my life, but I was also drinking myself to death with alcohol to the point where I almost drove myself insane. And now, when you come back from that years later, and you have to change, you have to readjust your beliefs, your thought patterns, and everything like that. And when you don't lie to yourself and you're always honest with yourself and other people, you begin to see things very clear. And you can see lies and manipulation and bullshit flying a mile away. A mile away. So, where do my sources come from? Myself. My own experiences. My truth that I tell myself. I have been lied to, so why? I've listened to the boy who cried wolf my whole life, and it got me in hell. Why would I listen to you now? You know what I mean? That's how wisdom is formed in your life, by taking the lessons learned from your mistakes, by cultivating those experiences, learning to change, and then not do it, and then share that. That's true wisdom. That's why older people tell you to take it easy, calm down, it'll be all right. And you're going crazy. Yeah, it's not crazy. And, we're set up in this world with failure because we've got so many things. We got mind control everywhere. We got this thing right here. See, people, this is on all of you right here, this little magic box, right? This little thing. You pick it up, you see an article. Let me tell you something. You want to do a real science experiment? I will make an article. I will release a headline with a picture and some nice stuff and even a fake author. And you'll read it and be like, where did that come from, right? And you'll react and you'll think it's real. Then I'll tell you it's not, and you won't believe it because you've already incorporated the message that was put into your mind and you believe that message, especially if it agrees with your line of thinking, which I'm convinced that the internet has all kinds of that stuff. So you have to pull yourself out of the mud, the roaring rapids river of misinformation on the internet, and decide for yourself, okay, what world do I want to live in? Because whenever the fight that I take against stuff is that I don't want anything against my will. I don't want anything against your will. Like, you want to wear a mask? Go ahead. You're depriving yourself of oxygen and you're probably actually going to get sick from it. But if you want to, fine. You want to stick a cucumber up your ass, go for it. I don't care. It's probably not good for your prostate. See, this is the truth. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, but there's consequences, guys. There's consequences to all actions and behaviors, all of them. Whether you think so or not. You think you're getting away with stuff? You're not. It comes full circle eventually. In your life, my life, I know. Dude, I've had to learn a lot of hard lessons, and but I learned them. This is why I share that with you, so it's just what it is. And people have this idea that they've been warped. They get educated. They're like, "Well, I got my master's degree and I'm so smart." Yes, that is a form of dedication and discipline, and it's a lot of work to get those academic achievements. However, it's not the only level of intelligence on this world. It's like, do you know how to grow food? Have you ever worked with animals? Do you know how to change a tire on a car? Do you know what I mean? Like, there are levels of intelligence, folks. It's not just, when you hear I've got a master's degree, you're like, oh, this person knows. But see, even if you get that degree, let me tell you something. You have to continue your education. If you haven't been in school for a decade, information changes, guys. Remember, back in the 60s, they were lobotomizing people as the cure for mental illness. They would take a chisel in between your eye sockets, go into your frontal lobe, and turn you into a vegetable. And that was the cure for mental illness in the world of science and medicine. So, remember that. That was my parents' lifetime, your parents' lifetime. My grandparents were alive. So, forgive me if I don't take what they tell me as sacrosanct. I just don't. I don't. I go, I'm good. That's why I don't take shots of things and I don't take medications and things because I realize more people are sick. You get sicker or you remain sick, so you get on that carousel of the wonderful scam that is the healthcare system. Meat, fruit, and vegetables, guys. Tell the truth. Have a relationship in the spiritual realm of some kind. Whatever that is. Don't lie. Don't tell people what they want to hear. Tell them what they need to hear, or at least, at the very least, be honest with what they're asking you. But don't cater to another person's needs if you are being dishonest with yourself. These things are all principles that help get you to see things for like reality for what it is. All right? Or, you could lie to yourself and say like I'm only going to listen to this side. That's why perspective is important. You need to broaden that and have an open mind. I used to think I knew everything about everything, and the more I learn, the more I know, the less I know. To think at any age you have everything figured out is ludicrously insane to me. Because you don't. Because I don't. And I know you don't. Because I know I don't. Like, that's the practice is I don't know. But I do know that I've been lied to. And when I'm lied to, I don't accept the information that's coming to me. The boy who cried wolf in Aesop's Fables is a great story. He cried wolf, and people kept coming until eventually there was a wolf, and then nobody came. This is that time when there is a wolf, though, and I need to let you know that. If you want to live in a world where you're constantly being told that you can't leave your home, see, that's on you. Nobody's going to knock on your door. There's not going to be no military force. But what's going to happen eventually, I believe, is people will get so worn down that eventually it'll work its way into healthcare laws and systems to where you have to obey it, and then people will. However, I love the American spirit. We are more like, I don't think I don't. Like, fundamentally, most people are on the level, like, I don't agree with that, regardless of what people are saying. Like, they won't turn on their neighbor for money. You know what I mean? And if you do, there's a special place in hell for you. That's for your own shit, your own selfish desires. Because you're scared. You're living in fear. Fear of the unknown. Just be curious. Be like, I don't know where this is going, but let's see. Enjoy the ride, right? You don't know, right? Nobody knows. And even as information comes out, you still don't know. This is why I don't trust the information presented to me, and I stand where I stand based on also past history. Again, look into lobotomies. I don't think you should take any medications that are mood-altering stuff, things like that. I truly believe that you should live a healthy lifestyle with clean eating, good stuff in your mind as much as possible, and you're probably going to be very healthy. However, we are on the American diet, which is poison food everywhere, readily available. We think it's okay because we're told it's moderation. That's a lie. No, it's not in moderation. If you eat poison, you will eventually become poisoned. You will get sick. You will develop these ailments that just are so popular today. Everybody's got cancer. Everybody's got diabetes. It's just normal because it's normal. We think like, oh, we're supposed to live and get cancer one day. We're supposed to live and get diabetes one day. We're supposed to live and have this disease. No. It's like living and saying one time, oh, well, if we don't wear the mask, we're going to get the corona one time. Dude, look. You have the illusion of security. Even again, if we all wore masks, let's say we all complied, but you don't want to because it's evil, by the way. And the mask is very dehumanizing and it is awful to cover the face of God. So we all wear masks. Let's say we all wear hazmat suits, right? We sterilize every building. Let's say if we can coordinate that. Would you feel safe then? That doesn't eliminate an invisible enemy, and the enemy is a virus that you may or may never know if you had because you're asymptomatic, right? That's what the science says. That's a beautiful way to control somebody's mind and make them do things because you don't know, right? I've seen people argue about the smoking thing. We're like, well, we used to think smoking was bad, and then we banned smoking in buildings. I go, well, smoking was very obvious, wasn't it? You know, there's this little thing with smoke in the air, the carcinogens, all that crap got into your lungs, secondhand smoke. We eventually realized, like, oh man, there's an obvious threat because I could see the smoke. You could smell it in places that were like, you know, remember the bowling alley, how that smelled, right? But when it's something like a virus, like there's no way to detect it until you're sick, and they're telling you like, well, this is the way. I'm like, it's not the way because the information. Like, this is how I come to the conclusion. Since day one, I've always called it as bullshit. But no, I caught it. I'm sick. I know. I've got a lot of people who got it and didn't die. Guys, people weren't dropping in the streets dying, and that was the fear, right? So now that we're not all dead, and if you are afraid of dying, you're dead already. The only way around that is honestly, you should crawl into a cave and not be around people because that's your life. Or kill yourself. I'm not condoning suicide, but I'm telling you, more people will kill themselves in the upcoming winter, probably because of psychological damage from all this and not the actual virus itself. Yeah. I know a guy just the other day. He hung himself. So you, and this is where I'm going to get personal, go fuck yourself if you ask me, where do my sources come from? I've seen people dropping dead like flies and not from this. And you're going to get sick. You can sit in bed for a week or two. And if you're old, you're going to die one day, guys. How old do you want to be? Do you want to live forever? Do you want to be immortal? Because it's not going to happen. Do you want to make it to 90, 80? Is 70 good for you? Every day is a gift. Every day. Be grateful for today. Be grateful for today only. Because you don't know if tomorrow's going to come, regardless if you take all the precautions. That's why security's an illusion. We can have fucking cameras on every angle of this. We can be being monitored all the time. We can see inside your neighbor's house what's going on, and you still wouldn't be safe. Actually, it makes the world much more uncomfortable. Don't you like to be mysterious? Don't you like to not know? Would you really want to know the day you were going to die? You've asked yourself that question, right? You've asked yourself that question at one point, like, if you knew the day you were going to die, what would you do? Do you really want to know that? You really want to know, let's say on October 30th of 2042, that's the day you're gone? No, you want to know why? Because all you're going to do between now and that time is anticipate that time. And as that time approaches, you know what would happen? You would deteriorate even quicker because you would mind fuck yourself into death. You probably die sooner because you were worried about that time. Or maybe not. Maybe you decided to just be reckless. Be like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want. Maybe. I don't know. It's a dumb question because it doesn't exist. Like, it's impossible. It's a hypothetical. Just like what if. Those two words are awful and they're detrimental to your mind and detrimental to your overall health. Take it from a guy who used to be 70 pounds heavier, almost killed himself with alcohol, turned his life around, made choices to put good food in my body, stop watching television, stop listening to the news, stop listening to bullshit, start trusting myself first. It starts here. I believe the divine is within you and every person on this planet. And you have the ability to unlock those answers because you already have them. The truth is within. You have to unlock them though. With honesty, try to keep an open mind and be willing to do things. You have to be willing to admit that you don't know. You have to be willing to admit you could be wrong. You have to be willing to admit that your goddamn academic accolades might have been worthless. That's hard. It hurts the pride. But you have to. If you want to be okay. Take it from a man. Look at me. I'm in great health. 36 years old, best health of my life. I sleep great. I feel great. I eat right. I don't let dumb shit into my mind. And I'm being pulled into it because the world wants me to. The world wants me to be pulled into this shit because it knows it wants to control me. I don't want to be controlled. Free will. But the bigger picture is beyond me. It's about where we're headed as society. I'm not going to put a mask on my child when he's born. I don't care how long this goes on. You will not see me do that. I will not comply with that. No. You need to breathe. And thinking, after 8 months of wearing that, you think you're not going to develop some health problems after oxygen day in and day out, good clean air not getting into you. Maybe you're not sick now, but because you will be because of that. Think about that, guys. Really think about it. And the argument of I'm doing this for other people, you have no idea what other people need. You have no idea what their state of mind is. You could be in that fucking hazmat suit. For all you know, you actually made their day worse because maybe they go, the hazmat suit's what scares me. The mask is what scares me. Did you ever ask yourself that? Did you ever think to ask yourself that maybe the mask is what's terrifying people? Not actually helping them? I like to see your expression. I want to see you smile. I want to see more than your eyes. I want to see this because then I know I'm talking to a person and not an empty shell. The mask is scarier than not wearing one and maybe or maybe not getting sick. Maybe or maybe not you spread the disease. Maybe, maybe not. It will never end if you continue to comply with it. If you stand strong, tall, and say, no, I'm going to live and we're going to have a good time, then the evil won't win. But if you comply, just so other people think you're a good person for complying, that's when you get yourself into trouble. That's when you lie to yourself. And that's when you're going to find yourself in a world of hell. And by the time you realize you were in hell, it'll be too late. So don't consent to that now. Just say no. That's what it's always been. You are your own assassin. You have that ability to choose. But pretty soon, if you all keep doing this because you can't address your own fears, we are all going to have to comply in order to live. But I don't think so, because I have faith that it's not going to be that way. And I don't live in fear today because I don't. My life has been tremendously good this year. And to be honest, this could be the best year of everybody's life, depending on how you look at it. And how you look at this world is everything. If you're afraid you might die one day, you're already dead. You're just a walking vessel, a zombie. You're no good. But if you embrace the fact that one day you will die, then every day is beautiful. And then it causes you to not worry about masks or gloves and to not live in this constant fear of something that you can't see. Just look within. My source comes from letting go of what I think I know, what I believed, and just letting it be. It's out of my control. I may not be the smartest man alive, I'm not the most educated man, but I'm very self-aware. And when you're self-aware, that is a greater advantage than learning something in a book that has of no use in the real world. Skills, what can you do for others, community, friends, family, that's all that's important right now. If you're on the fence and you want to come over to the side where you don't need to worry, come over. If you're still shouting at people to wear the mask and you think that is the solution to this problem, that is all going to go away once we all do that, you know that's not true. You just know. Unless you really, really want that life. I do not. I do not want to live in that Orwellian universe. No, thank you. I like my life. I like being able to go out in the sunshine, breathe air, hug my friends, shake a man's hand. I want to look into your soul and see why it is we're even here in the first place. Because if we don't do that and we keep this covered, it will wear you down mentally. It will wear everybody down, even the strongest of spiritual people. It will wear them down to the point of breaking. And then it will be your normal life. And I don't want that. My son will not have that. You want to know when it's time to do the right thing? Now. Not when you feel good or you're up to it. Now. Speaking the truth all the time. My source is my life experience is my source. Your life experience is your source. If you need people to tell you how to live or where to go or where to take a shit, I mean, you are farm animals. And I love you, but you deserve everything that's coming to you if that's how you're going to be. But you can break away from it now. Awareness, guys. Become self-aware of your own shit first, and then navigate through this world. Because security is an illusion. It doesn't exist. No matter how much technology can hear my thoughts and tell me what I want to do, and every time I talk about something, an ad pops up. I don't want that. I just want to be here. Be of service to people. I want to see my family grow. I want to see my son be born. And if somebody tells me that I need to do something in order to see my son born, I do not stand for that. I will be there. I will be a father. And I will be a man that will protect his family at all costs. Will you? Or will you tuck tail and lie to yourself and cover the face and say you're doing good for others? I don't know. I'll always say I don't know because I don't know. But I do know. I'm not living in that world, guys. But I'll go to a place and find people that don't want to live in that world either. Just be honest with yourself. See how your neighbors are doing. The truth comes out as it always will. But just know that this is being exploited for something way far bigger than you and I. Way bigger than academic achievements. It's beyond us. So know, like, you should actually be kind of grateful for what you have, because this is great. We're in a good position right now. Unless you're not living that life, unless you've been doing a bunch of bad things, immoral things, dark things that you don't want, you carry shame and guilt about. Come clean, and you'll be all right. But, yeah, saying to lock down again and not go anywhere, you do it to yourself, guys. Just say no. I've gone out in public a million times without a mask on. You know what people are? They're so ashamed, the people that wear the mask, they look down and away. Down and away. Because they're scared. You think wearing the mask makes you feel okay to go out? It's actually quite the opposite. It's making you weaker by the day. Just be, guys. Where do my sources come from? You are your best source. If you get to the bottom of all your vices and bad shortcomings and things like that, honestly. And you could see lies. You could see people's patterns and behaviors. You can see what people's motivations are when you learn your own. Or you can just assume there's only the one way. Which, again, I'm a bit, science people are like, oh, they're trying to push like science is back. Science also told me to take a pill that almost made me want to blow my fucking head off with a gun. But you know what? They didn't make me take it now, did they? They suggested it to me, and I took it by my own hand, mind you, because it was suggested to me to help. And it didn't. Just like you do this to yourself with everything else. These are suggestions. These are, evil wants you to do it to yourself. It won't do it to you. No one's going to knock on your door and be like, take the fuck out. Put the vaccine in your arm. No. You have to go. I'm going to walk in line. I'm going to get into that little free testing site. I'm going to let them shove something up my nose where I have no idea what it is because I have trust that they're in my best interest. I have to do that. I have to make that choice. And when you make that choice, you're in it. It's just like when, I don't blame the psychiatrist I saw years ago for giving me antidepressants. Oh, no. I wanted them back then. That's the truth. I wanted the pill because I wanted to escape the feelings that I had. And that pill contributed to some of my hell. But I took it. I got the I said what I wanted. I got what I wanted. I filled the prescription. I opened the package. I took the medication. Me. Nobody else. Nobody else did. But the people that suggested it to me, that was it. It was just a suggestion, guys. In my own best interest. No thank you today. That's where I stand. That's my perspective. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. So, don't take yourself too seriously.